So in this video, we're gonna talk about deepfake music. Batman's voice singing Hannah Montana classics, Joe Biden knocking out a killer rendition of Shark Doo 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 Doo,
Baby Shark Doo 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 Doo,
and my personal favorite, Kanye West singing Hey There Delilah.
Hey there Delilah, what's it like in New York City?
Now some artists find deepfake music a creative use of the technology. Like the artist Grimes, for example, is down to split 50-50 royalties with any of the fans who deepfake her voice into a new song. Now of course, Universal Music, the big behemoth, is taking the opposite approach. They asked for a song that was generated by an anonymous user using deepfakes that was Kanye West and the Weeknd to be removed from all the major platforms. We're also going to talk about how some not so nice folks are actually using this tech to deceive. There's a disturbing trend where people are copying the voices of people, then contacting their relatives looking for money. But don't worry, because we're going to learn about it all together right now. So let's start with an open source project called Bark, which is allowing people to do crazy things with artificially intelligent generated audio. So Bark is this incredibly versatile and very realistic audio model that just came out, and it was done by a company called Suno. But it turns out that it's not just about voice synthesis too, it's also really good at making music or sound effects or even the kind of noises that are speech, but they're like laughing, crying, things like that. And the internet is really like all abuzz right now about those nonverbal sounds. That part is super unique. Okay, so check out this text prompt. Hello, my name is Suno, company that made this, and dash, I like pizza, laughing. I also have other interests such as playing tic-tac-toe, okay?
Hello, my name is Suno, and I like pizza. But I also have other interests such as playing tic-tac-toe.
Don't worry, I'm not just a pizza eater, I also play tic-tac-toe. I do understand why they added laugh in there. That would make me laugh. Okay, so look, just by putting the music note emoji around the text like a quote, it actually will make it so that it kind of stays in some kind of a tune, and then it follows the spaces that are put in by the commas. It's absolutely incredible.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion barks tonight.
What? That is really very real in the way it comes off. Eerie, interesting, fascinating, all that stuff. So this is their voice cloning tool. Now it's not quite as good as what we heard out of 11 Labs, but considering all the prompts it can do, it's a really powerful tool. Now, if you're wondering how you might be able to make money with a tool like this, I have a legal way for you. The artist named Grimes is offering a 50-50 royalty split with anybody who deepfakes her voice into a new song. So the pop star Grimes is showing a different reaction than most people so far to deepfakes with her voice. She's actually encouraging her fans to use artificial intelligence to clone her voice into all sorts of new songs. So much so that she's willing to split any royalties that those songs make 50-50. She said that's how she'd split the royalties with other collaborators, so why not just extend that to all of her fans? It's refreshing to see the way that Grimes is excited about open sourcing her voice. She said she doesn't mind if her likeness is used, she'll be the guinea pig just to see what happens. In fact, Grimes has actually recently paired up with an AI company to create lullabies. And with her huge audience, maybe her call to embrace artificial intelligence will actually ripple throughout the industry. But that message definitely hasn't made it to the Universal Music Group yet, because they asked for a full stop on the Drake Weeknd track. So the musician Drake, his music label is Universal Music Group, and they were not happy about a viral AI-generated deepfake song with his voice in it. It was done by an anonymous creator, and it was totally viral. It racked up tens of millions of listens. Now for perspective, if that song was actually released by the real Drake, it would probably be topping the charts. But the Universal Music Group said, hey, we have copyright over this. They used that as their reasoning, and they contacted all the big platforms, had it pulled down. Now diving into it, I would suspect that what they see is either lost revenue or loss of control over their artist. But when I went to Reddit, I saw so many new deepfakes coming up with, similar voices to Drake's. So if their goal is to pull all this stuff off the internet, then my guess is that it's only gonna be the super viral ones that they can even deplatform, and even that is gonna be like a game of whack-a-mole. I could see how it'd be frustrating to hear your voice out on the internet and other people making money from it, but it's probably also just bringing more awareness. I mean, I've thought about Drake more this weekend than I have any other time in my life, and that might generally lead to more ticket sales and a bigger brand, so you'd kind of have to play with those trade-offs. Now I'm just imagining, but if you go the other route, maybe someone like Universal Music Group could actually release like an app, and it could be like customize Drake's voice to your favorite lyrics, and they could actually build like a whole ecosystem of these kind of things and start rewarding some of the creators with some of the revenue they make. Something like that would probably be the way I'd try to tackle this. So if you're like me and your voice isn't something that anybody's interested in cloning for a song, but you do need custom music like I do in these videos, a little bit of background music, not sure if you noticed or not, but it's there. There's a new AI tool that will customize a song based on your text prompt. So there's this new service, it's called Soundraw, and it's similar to one of those websites where you would have like a bunch of different options for copyright-free music you could use as long as you're paying for a subscription. But instead of being an archive of music, it's actually a generative model. So you kind of give it some parameters like how long you want it, what style the music's supposed to be in, and then it generates you a whole bunch of options. From there you can make some tweaks to it if you're unhappy, but what you get at the end is something that's copyright-free as long as you paid for the subscription. Now I personally like this service mostly because you can customize the length of it, and I'd like the song to, you know, come in and come out and just be the right length instead of me having to chop it up like we always have in the past. And for what it's worth, you get a really unique song, something that won't even be in other people's songs. Even though you'd have the right to it, it's truly yours. And of course, generated media on the fly, tip of the iceberg. We have so much growing to do in that industry. So before I was talking to you about how on Reddit people are going Drake and AI generated music nuts, let's dive into that a little bit more. So for some reason that whole Drake Universal Pull It Down Weeknd remix just erupted on Twitter. And then of course in reaction, Reddit went crazy with uploads of all these AI generated Drake songs. So yeah, if anything, I think it was meant to kind of scare people, like be careful, we'll pull your stuff down and maybe come after you, but instead it feels like it was just like, whoa, what are people doing? That's cool, let me do it. You know, one of the problems with enforcing anything on the internet. But one user asked a pretty insightful question and it got me thinking. And he was asking, with all this media buzz, everybody from the lawsuit, the people who just like the song, is that so much pressure that Drake and The Weeknd cannot ignore this and they really should come together, make a song and release it? Because I mean, if you follow the money, that's pretty much where it should take you. And the responses were all over the place. Some people were like, yeah man, that's business. That's how this should work. The demand is there, you know, satisfy the demand. And other people were like, that would never happen. That would just be giving into this and you would just set the tone that other people should be stealing your voice. But it just made me aware that there's kind of a difference between people just like putting something on the internet that doesn't go viral and something like this song that really was a mega hit. So now that you're aware of what's happening with these deepfake voices, you should know about a new scam that's going around to protect yourself. So you might want to watch out because there's a new trick that scammers have been using recently. So they're getting help from some of this artificial intelligent technology that's out there now helping people clone voices. Now the way it works is they pick a target, they find at least 6 minutes of footage that they already have either on YouTube or some kind of audio track. They feed that into a neural network and it can very quickly sound like them, so whatever they type will become audio. And then they target the relatives of this person, saying, I'm in trouble, I need money, wire me cash, blah blah blah. And if that person is unsuspecting, especially if it's like an older person or a family member that just doesn't know how this technology works at all and isn't even clued into the fact that it's possible, they can instantly go into protective mode and say, you know, this is my daughter or my grandkids or whatever it is, and I need to get them money right now. And they go and they try to wire it and it's stolen. It's a scam. All in all, it seems like generally the better angels win. But on the other hand, I can definitely see the risks, especially when it comes to deceiving people. And it's all happening so freaking fast that it's like I don't even have time to sort of settle on a decision or build up an argument because I just keep having to take in new information as people experiment in new ways. So what is your thought on deep faked music? Leave it in the comments below.